What's up, everybody? TI Trading was here. We're here with Iceberg, one of our traders that has taken out a pretty significant payout at the beginning of this year of $20,000, and we've never really sat down and done an interview. And his payout was from Apex, and so I think that's where I want to start. And we also have his chart layout and how he trades, kind of in the Discord channel under the Pro Chart tab, and so you can get his exact layout, exactly how he trades. But I think I wanted to start out with um, first off, I guess introduce yourself and kind of how long you were trading for before you got your payout, and then how long you were trading with QuantVue specifically before you got your payout.
Okay, sure. So, first, glad to be here. Appreciate the time taken to talk with you and everyone here. So QuantVue, Apex and QuantVue kind of go hand in hand. When I started, it was, I think actually my packet from QuantVue was December 11th of 2023. So that's when I did the trial. I think Apex maybe was a week or two before. But I haven't been in futures that long. I have traded a couple years on and off on Nadex, which is kind of a more fixed platform in terms of what you can win, risk and reward, win or lose, and it's directly your money. So I was so on that. I would just say the style that I learned how to use before required a lot of chart time. It could be a little bit exhausting, so it never really tipped off the way I wanted to. But in terms of with QuantVue, it was December of 2023.
Yeah, and then when did you get that payout? Because it was pretty quickly then after you started.
Yeah, it was spring. I want to say March 21st, I believe.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
three months pretty much. And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and you were going you had 20, did you have 20 accounts at that time?
That time it was 11.
11 accounts.
11 of the 50K accounts. So I was able to do a full, I had enough profit to do a full withdrawal of 2,000 across 11.
So the payout was 2022 or was it 20,000?
22.
That's
22.
crazy. That's an
Yeah,
awesome,
yeah,
dude. That's an awesome start. I guess
yeah.
how many were these the first set of, I guess let's figure out, like, okay, when you first started and you were buying 11 accounts, how many evaluations did you fail before this payout?
A lot, of
A lot.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was new to futures, right? So
Yeah.
just with, um, yeah, I've never had a comfort. I don't know if comfort's the word. I never cared for trading micro because just for me, like my style is primarily scalping, so it just always just felt like it just didn't feel like enough of a financial impact with trading those.
Yeah.
So I always did mini. So at the time, I didn't. I would say I probably risked more than what I should. And as I'm
Yeah.
saying this, I can remember your video saying how with the 50K, you probably shouldn't go more than two at a time.
Yeah, especially when you
And
first start
there's
out. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, some people do it and some people have success. Some people will end up, I mean, I'm not going to say names, but there's somebody in the Coffee Discord channel that he's profitable now and he's getting payouts, and has said this before, but he's spent like probably about $30,000 in evaluations before ever getting his first payout.
Oh, wow, he's
Um,
persistent.
yeah,
Shout
yeah,
out to him, man. Look, man, we want to get this done, so I understand. I
yeah.
understand.
Now
Yeah,
his first payout was about a month into trading with QuantVue. So
oh, nice.
all that money he spent before was when he wasn't trading with QuantVue system or anything. But
Yeah.
it's just interesting. So I guess the reason why I'm asking how many evals you bought is like, once you got that payout, I guess, like, what was your return on investment, you think? Like, how much money did you spend in evals versus and PA fees uh
Sure.
to that
Yeah,
$22,000
I would
payout?
say yeah, 22,000. I would say probably no more than 3 to 5,000 between
Yeah.
the PA fees and the eval and or resets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, I
yeah,
mean, that's like crazy. That's a 4x return on investment,
yeah,
at least, and maybe a little bit more. And yeah, so that's awesome. And that's actually like is also just depends on like who is trading in their personal financial situation. I tell people to, only get one account and then snowball it and snowball it and snowball it. But
yeah.
the
I
flip
remember
side
that too.
to that is like if, you have a six-figure plus job, or it's like you're sitting on, if you everybody's financial situation is different. So it's like, if you
Right.
have a six-figure job and you're willing to throw $2,000 a month, go for 10 accounts. If you can do that every single month for the rest of the year and not be stressed out about losing 10 grand or whatever, right? Like you just
Yeah,
mathematically do it out or extrapolate it out like that and be like, hey, this is my monthly trading budget every single month. This is what I'm
yeah,
comfortable with losing every single month for the whole year, right?
yeah,
And that's how I, suggest people start out, so most people are going to be in that one account. Sometimes people are going to be trading larger account size. And for people that don't know, up on the screen right now, above me is his chart layout. And it's actually looks a little different than before. I don't know if the Oracle reversals are working right now for some reason. Doesn't seem like they are. Um, but I guess I wanted to go over. Do you trade? I guess how do you go about trading your style? And
sure.
what particular time of day are you taking most of your trades?
Usually, unless the market just absolutely just shoots straight down or straight up at market open, I usually will try to wait uh, 7 to about 12 minutes just so it can establish what it's doing. Um, typically, just thinking about my success or failure with market open is that because my um, stop loss is about 20 ticks. Market open, if it's trying to establish itself, you can be right on the direction every time, and you'll get decimated because it's just trying to figure itself out, right?
Yeah.
So I try to give it that time, and then I also plot the opening range bracket just so I can have a gauge of of price will how many times it'll touch that area,
So when you say
and
opening
then from
range
there,
bracket, are you talking about the
yeah.
15-minute ORB, or are you talking
I
about
actually do.
5 minute?
I actually do 60 second. I just do the low and high of the first candle, the
Interesting.
first 1 minute. Yeah. So yeah, I saw the video that you did, the 15 minute, and the success that yourself and other people have had. One of the things that I learned before from someone is that they do the 60 second, and essentially uh, that individual taught me that the three different types of potential days that a trading day will have. You don't really know it until the very end of the day is over, but based on how the candles look, you can kind of get a gauge of what it is.
Yeah.
One is a trending day, one is a narrow range day, and one is a test and retest day.
Yeah.
And so part of that, 10 to 15 to 20 minutes is me trying to see within that time what it'll be. And then from there, that helps me uh, choose um, which alerts to ignore and which ones to kind of consider.
Gotcha.
Um, and I would say, even though saying that, QuantVue by far is the most detailed one I've ever seen. So even saying all that, like if Q Cloud aligns, if Q momentum aligns, and Moneyball aligns, you can still take opportunities up and down the chart, even with whichever of those days are. Your only question is how long the that opportunity lasts, and some will be shorter than others. But
Yeah.
um, yeah,
And let's just, I guess, break down your trade today, because you took a trade today at 950. So if I'm not mistaken, this
yeah,
this was your trade. So we had the money ball flip, we had the momentum flip, and then looks like you entered probably right in this range, and we had the Q trend going up. I guess just explain too how you incorporated, any other bias that you had, say from the 15-minute opening range. Did you have a level marked out, like you said?
No, I didn't. Well, the opening range is what I plot, but in terms of like, I probably should do key levels more, but I mean, that was it. Like, you guys' system with like, if those things, Q cloud aligns and Moneyball flip aligns and Q momentum aligns, the only reason a trade is going to be wrong is if it pops hard the other way, and
Yeah.
that doesn't happen that much. So usually it's good. It's good money. Like, it'll get you there.
Yeah.
And like, there's someone that I talk with. I just tell them, like, you gotta have faith in what the indicators are showing, right? Like, I tell them, like, for the most part, I don't even look at the candlesticks, like, because the candlesticks are or the wrinkles rather, they'll deceive you because they may go up or down or they may hit. But if all of those things form, cloud, money ball, momentum,
Yeah.
like, I have faith that it's going to get to the destination eventually.
Yeah.
So,
And do you typically use a 3-box Renko? Because that's what it's set up as right now.
no, I still use one.
A 1. Okay.
Yeah, I still use one. Yeah. I think Tucci actually he may have changed it when he saved it to the pro chart layout. But I tell people, anyone that asks me, whether it's DM or over the um just the general pro Discord. Um, you guys recommend 3 or 4, so I was like, look, I only do one because I've always did one, and I just got used to how it looks.
Mm-hmm.
And when I changed the 3 and 4, I just didn't care for it. But I just tell people always just to consider both, and then just do whatever makes sense for you based on how it looks. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm on the 1-box Rinko one.
Gotcha. Your settings might actually be a little bit different for the momentum then too. I'm not sure if I don't know if this looks right to you. The
I
momentum.
think momentum's 22. I think on the number.
Gotcha. Perfect. All right. So going back to your 950 trade here, which is actually it looks actually great on your money ball. So your money ball settings are a little bit different than the ones that we have currently uploaded, and I will make sure that I fix that. It looks like, but so it looks like you took it around 9. You said you took it around 952.
I want to say 952 and 953. The first entry was 2478. The price 24.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So there we go. So yeah. So I can go over this now. So basically, he's waiting for the money ball flip, waiting for the momentum. Momentum already flipped. Money ball flipped, and then we got the Q line bull signal. He took this trade right about here, and was able to get a decent profit out of it. You took it, looks like probably up to this line here. Now, when you're exiting this trade, it looks like you're trying to exit on the Q line. Is that what you're using to exit? Because you said your target one was hit. That was 10 points you were taking. Is 10 points just like what you're typically aiming for, or were you looking for
So I have multiple. I have TPs or target profits to go at increments of 20 ticks or 5 points, and then the final contract, presuming if it goes 20 or 25 points, will just be the runner. But I also trail my stop as well. So anytime I'm out of a trade, it's due to just hitting the stop, and I don't ever get out on my own.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
And for people that
Yeah.
don't know already, and I will go ahead and take a screenshot of this. Like, I mean, today on, how many accounts are you trading right now? It looks like
20.
20. Okay. So 20, I mean, this is $1,200, $1,200 trade, times 20. So I don't know what that is. 1,200 times 20.
It's something.
It's something.
I try not to think
$24,000.
about it that way. It was probably 23, 22. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And you're pretty consistent with this trading setup. Now, I guess, talk to me about the hours that you're typically entering on these trades, because it seems like a lot of your trades are done typically within the first 2 hours. Do you trade the afternoon at all? Are you trading the end of the day sessions at all?
Um, I do recognize that I've read or seen enough to know that there can be a thing as power hour. So between 1:30 to 4 ish, sometimes there's great opportunities. But like I said, and I hope I'm not sounding like beating a dead horse when I say this. I tell anyone that I talk to that's unfamiliar with QuantVue, if you just go about an hour, you can see at least 5 to 10 to 20 different opportunities.
Hmm.
So, um,
If you're
that's
scalping.
not, yeah, it's not yard. It's. I try to just stay disciplined for just a couple of opportunities and no more than that. Um, Before I used QuantView, I would say I would do a couple of opportunities in the morning and consider coming in the afternoon. But I've never seen the market as clear as I have now. Like it's clear. Just looking right now at the chart on our screen as we talk. What, one, two, three, four different bull opportunities. If I got stopped out of each one, a crazy short may get stopped out at the first one and then take another short. Like 6 different opportunities. Like if I just did just one contract just with all of those, that can make your day. Like
Yeah.
it just it 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 shows things so clear. It it's hard for me to just I can hit whatever profit goal I desire like within the first like that those trades I took today was less than 3 minutes and I
Yeah.
took a loss.
Yeah.
And I took a loss and the loss that I took was only because it went back after 3 points.
Mm.
Like it was a bad, but then it kind of went hard. So
Yeah.
it hit my stop there. But like I don't the need that I had to where I felt like I needed to be on the computer all day or several hours a day. It just doesn't it's not a need. Like
Yeah.
and if I wanted to get greedy and aggressive and just do it all day I could. But like I mean for me, the purpose of trading is like to give you your life to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And if I can accomplish that in a couple minutes or even sometimes a couple seconds, like I just I do it and I get off and I prepare for the next day.
Yeah. I actually just sent you a thing too, and I can share it in here, so people can see what I'm talking about. Because I know you just talked about power hour, but I love like pulling statistical data, and actually putting something to that. Power hour almost kind of in a way doesn't fully exist, and like
Oh wow.
the idea that people think it does. So this is like the volume over the past 2 years, by hour and by every 15 minutes broken down. So you can see that towards the end of the day, sometimes we do get a little bit more volume starting about that last power hour, but it's not as
Mhm.
dramatic as people think. The last 15 minutes, though, is a huge spike in comparison, very similar to the 930. So,
Okay.
but yeah, I mean, you can
See, and it gave me one more reason not to do
yeah.
it.
So, I mean, I would say this is why, Anthony says, 11:40, right? I mean, you can see really from 11:30 for the rest of the day, the volume doesn't really come back up. So, most majority of the volume, and specifically this is NASDAQ that we're looking at, most of that
Okay.
volume is going to be in that first 2 hours of trading. And I think it's just helpful for people to visualize, like, hey, this is actually what that looks like on, extrapolated over a 2 year period, and actually looking at the data behind that. So,
Yeah.
I just think
That's
it's
cool.
helpful
And I
for people to
appreciate
know.
this saying it. Yeah.
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 But it's it's very cool watching your setup, and you trade with extremely tight stop. I mean, 20 tick stop. You're close to my stop. If I told you my stop is typically 16 ticks. Right now,
Oh
and
yeah.
this is ever since I used to not trade with a stop. And I used to add to my losing positions if I still was convinced that it was going to trade in my direction.
Hmm.
And because I would add up to 3 times usually, and
Hmm.
um, because Apex changed the rules, I can't really do that anymore the way that I was doing that. So that's why I'm trading with a tighter stop. But it means that I will lose sometimes that first trade, take the same entry sometimes, and then have that trade still play in my favor. When you lose a trade with a 20 tick stop, like if you're still convinced that it gets a little pullback, but you're still convinced it's going to move in that direction, are you going back in on that same trade within a very short period of time, or are you just waiting for a whole new setup?
I have before. Um, I actually used to have a 16 tick stop as well, so very familiar with that. I think the reason why I settled on 20 ticks, I was trying to figure out at what point for a trade, like, am I like just like wrong,
Hmm.
like, and like and it reflects on QuantVue also,
Yeah.
like in terms of like let's say it's Q cloud is all flush, everything is aligned, and then it hitches or pulls back. And I felt like 5 ticks or 5-ish ticks shows where it would change from one color to another.
Hmm.
So that's the answer on why I settled with that. But in terms of your question, yes, I have. I will consider getting back in if it pulls back, but it still feels like it's gonna go in my direction.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you don't look at higher time frames at all, really.
I have a iPad that I have on the 5 minute or 15 minute
Mm,
timeline with just standard candlesticks.
gotcha.
Um, but that's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
No pivot
it.
points, no levels on that.
I have pivot points
Okay.
just for awareness.
Yeah.
Um, but I heavily rely on what QuantVue shows because it's just like if I stay disciplined
Yeah.
with my 5 criteria, I'm right almost every
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
or I'll say the trade goes in my favor almost every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say that you're probably one of the definitely the more disciplined traders just looking at your P&Ls, right? And that you post almost daily, right? And you also break down your trades in the QuantView Discord server for people that have never checked out QuantView, right? If you go into the QuantView Discord server
Mhm.
and you go in the Profits and Win channels, which is public, right? That you don't need to be a member to look at this, but scroll up or search his name. His name is Iceberg. When you find his post, I love it because he breaks down his trades. He breaks down like was my entry. This is my exit for my first target. This is my entry exit for my second target. This is why I took the trade, and he takes a screenshot of his chart. Why he took the trade, where he took the trade, and he takes a screenshot of his actual P&L from the Apex side as well. And so it's really, I really appreciate you doing that and sharing that with new members because I think it's super helpful to learn from and see somebody, hey, like this is A, B, C, D. Um, and
Mhm.
it's been fantastic. You're one of the traders that I keep on telling. I've told people. I've said in videos. I was like, by the end of this year, you will be I think 6 figures in payouts easy, if not more. You know,
That's
um,
the goal, man. That's the
yeah,
goal.
yeah, and
I see it. I just
yeah,
every day I try to um I don't know if make it boring is the word, but and that's part of why I post the pictures, right? Like
yeah,
there's commonality in the success of the bear and the bull trades. Like
hmm,
you should see the same thing every time. You should see Q cloud flush, all 6 lines are green or red. You should see Q momentum in alignment with Q cloud. You should see the money ball flip.
Yeah.
And if those trades turn out to be correct, more than likely what happens is Moneyball forms at least one diamond. It flushes out completely.
Yeah.
Momentum will flush further down or up, depending if it's a buy or sell. And Q Cloud expands more.
Yeah.
So I try to, posting just the money, it's not really helpful to
Exactly.
the community. I show that to show what the amount looks like based on the points or whatnot, but just more importantly, just showing what winning trades look like, I think helps, and it allows, like, if you just see that over and over and over again, eventually, for people new or seasoned, it should click. This is what my trade should look like when it's over.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. I've traded your setup on my laptop personally, and I really enjoyed it. I wanted to make a video about it, but I haven't yet. I think I want to. I need to probably set up it on a whole nother account. Like, I think what I want to do is like start with Take Profit Trader, and with you and take your setup and just see, like, how far I can take it with, Take Profit Trader, just trading your layout, because your layouts are really interesting. The other thing, I guess, with your layout, I know you have some stuff from Oracle on here with QuantVue. The Oracle
That's the guy,
squeeze.
man. That's the guy, man.
Yeah. Oracle, I guess, how do you interpretate, or how do you, I guess, utilize the flags and the diamonds? And for anybody that's watching this, I apologize if I cough. I apologize if Ice coughs during this. We both have had COVID, literally, or at least sick in the past, like 2 or 3 weeks now. I literally I got so sick with COVID, and I took a trip to a resort just so I could relax and just like have food, made for me and stuff. It sounds funny, but it was like, dude, I just need to relax. I couldn't talk. I couldn't say a sentence without coughing, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So
yeah.
But yeah. So let's go over, I guess, how you interpret, like, how do you use these flags and these diamonds, because there's not a lot of information, I think, out about, really how people are utilizing this. And because you just talked about the Q line, the Q momentum, and the trend and the money ball. You haven't touched at all on these diamonds and these flags. So how do you utilize those?
So the squeeze and the ultimate reversals, I have those in mind more for awareness, not really for a criteria to take the trades per se. I rely entirely on what I just described earlier with QuantVue. But just to give an example, if you want to put your mouse over that large short there, so let's say where the flags are.
Yeah.
So let's say, so at a certain point, Q Cloud, as I said, flushes out, Moneyball flips, and Q Momentum is bearish. I take that trade.
Yeah.
Once I start seeing those flags, just for me, that just mentally prepares me to know that at some point it's going to reverse, because that's just what that means.
Okay, gotcha.
Because the volume is just going crazy enough for those flags to just form. So I just keep that in mind. That's mainly what those reversal flags I use for.
Gotcha. And so,
but that's really it. Just awareness more so than trade.
So as soon as you start to see like it turn green after a flag, you're probably exiting this trade relatively quickly. Then,
yeah, I'm probably tightening my stop, because, like I said, I don't like to manually exit. I like to price just to hit, because sometimes, like, what will happen is, as you can see, it went up a little bit, but then it continued to go down further. So I prefer just to hit my stop.
Yeah.
What's the? But yeah, it just keeps me aware of just the potential for it to go up. Yeah. So I just keep that in mind.
What's the difference between, I guess, the blue flag and the orange flag?
I believe the orange is oversold.
Hmm.
Green typically means overbought, but I think that actually only appears if your box Renko is 2, 3, or 4, so it doesn't show for me.
Gotcha. Okay.
Um, and the blue are just general reverse opportunity.
Okay. Gotcha. Very cool.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to turn that off and go to the squeeze. So what do you, how do you interpret I see three different colors. I see blue, yellow, and red. How do you interpret these squeeze relaxers?
I think the colors actually don't
Matter.
mean
Or you don't pay
anything if I
attention to them at
remember
least.
correctly based on the well, it's again, it's just awareness,
Yeah.
right? Like, it just like if you just see that short, for example, like being at the top means that it's probably about to go down, and it did,
Hmm.
right there.
Yeah.
But it's more awareness
Yeah.
than like taking the trades on them. I like to use you guys a setup in full for any uh, trade opportunities, and just the other stuff is just
Yeah.
me keeping in mind that it may happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, this is gets into like where it's like, okay, not every indicator is 100%. Like you see squeeze dots all through here. That doesn't mean that it's going to squeeze and go the other way, but it is a good sign. Now, like one of the things that I look for when I've used the squeeze indicators, because there are is not just one from QuantVue, there's other ones out there, and they're all kind of based on the similar logic, right? But one of the things that I've always looked for is like when we make a high and we come back down and we almost make a double top, right? But not quite, especially
Yep.
when it's lower like that. And we get a squeeze like this, that's a very
Yep.
bearish signal, right? And then we get a flip on the momentum, we get a flip on the money ball, and we get the Q line flip. And this has like really three or four things really going for this trade. And
Yep.
so again, he's not taking the trades off of this, but this is just like you can use this as a added confluence, or and something to tell you, really, hey, like when we get a squeeze dot and this starts to turn green, I probably want to get out of this trade so I don't give too much profit back, right?
Yeah.
So these are just things that you can utilize to give yourself more confidence. And I think the last thing for me is like, I guess, that I want to ask you is like, I guess this year, um, you know, um, getting a $20,000 payout, what was that like for you? And like, and then two, um, you know, uh, I guess some more maybe personal, and this might be a little bit personal, but it's like, people would think that, in order to make $20,000, like I have to be at home and I can't work a job at the same time. Like, what was your schedule like when you're trading, leading up to that payout as well? So,
So I had well, have still, but a pretty considerable amount of savings. So I've been uh, attempting and desiring to make this a full time thing for a while now. Um, in terms of what that felt like, I mean, just thinking about that is still surreal.
yeah,
I think I made a post at the time that it happened. I worked. I'm in Texas for everyone to know, and so quite a while ago, I was a sales representative for Dell, um, and I remember it like yesterday. The most that I ever made in commission was just like around $4,500. So just knowing that, like, just with execution and consistency, just being able to make that much money at once was just
yeah,
it's still surreal just thinking about it. Like it's that's not that's not something that if I just a point of honesty, that's not something I thought would ever in my lifetime be something that I could achieve. Not that amount of money at once. So just knowing that I was able to do that, just like opened my eyes. Like, okay, yeah, I
yeah,
can push it further. Like if I just maintain my edge, maintain my consistency, and just really just every time I see the qualifiers, take that risk because it's worth the other side of what the reward
yeah,
can be in terms of the trade. So, just being fearless without reckless.
yeah.
So
I think that's a good point too, and it's also just surrounding yourself too with people that have got other payouts. Like, I mean, one of the guys that's in our Discord now, he just did a $40,000 withdrawal which was this last payout cycle. But
Yeah,
what
so
people fail to realize is like if you look at his accounts, he's on day 40 trading those. He's that means he's had probably at least one, two, what is that? Four payout cycles probably before this that were all
mhm.
40,000. Like, within, the past 3 months. So it's like, it's not just, it's cool when it happens to you, but it's also like seeing other people do it that are
Oh,
trading the same
absolutely.
system as you. It's like,
Yep.
okay, hey, like this is what's possible.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I will tell you that my brain gets broken still, like, because when I got into trading, I thought like $1 million would be crazy, right? And then um, I got exposed to probably arguably one of the best traders that I've ever met in my whole entire life. And um, we're we're talking about a guy that has been trading for over 20 years from his house, and he's made over $100 million. And
Oh, wow.
and he trades futures, and that's what he does for a living. And I didn't even like that wasn't even my realm of possibility. And
No, sure.
so it's like every single time I thought, oh, 1 million would be crazy. And then it's like I met somebody that has made 10 million. And then I met somebody that made like 30. And then I met somebody that like has made more money than I could even like I didn't even think that that was possible. Now, a lot of that came
Right.
down to he took advantage of the COVID dip. Right. So
Oh,
when that
I just talked to somebody about that one. I couldn't
I mean,
imagine.
but he's also somebody that had, 10 million plus of capital sitting on the side, right? So, being able to jump in and take advantage of something like that and make an absurd amount of money, right?
Yeah.
Uh, he was had himself in a position. So it's like I'm that's what I have money sitting on the side. I'm like, dude, if something like that ever happens again, I'm going to try to jump in and
Yeah.
ride that. But it's like, that's what I just wanted to end that in the interview there, because it's like, you're just at the 20,000 is crazy for 99% of people. But I'm telling you, like, the levels are pretty much never like they don't stop.
Right.
And
Sure.
I just think that I'm excited to see where you go from here. Excited to see, your in P&L this year. And yeah. Is there anything else that you want to say before we end it to, new traders that are coming into QuantVue that are skeptical, maybe, and kind of, yeah, I'll let you just take it from there.
Sure. So, guys, they have a free trial again. So 7 days. So if it's not what you want, it doesn't cost you a cent. Like I I've had a lot of different trading tools, and at best I was below average. And now, like I said, and on top of that, it required me to have so much chart time. Like some of my opportunities that I take, seconds. Sometimes it's a couple minutes. At the very most, I spend an hour. Like there's opportunity. QuantVue shows opportunity up and down the chart every day, whether it's a trend day, whether we go up or down 300 points, whether it's a range day and we finish uh, 5, 10, or -5, -10. And the reason why it shows so much opportunity because it it shows it just shows in a way that I haven't seen before. Like I'm not afraid to take opportunities in the way that I may have been before. Because before, I would think, for example, when it was a range day and the day was only going, let's say it finished maybe just 5 or 10 points. In my mind, I would think, oh, it didn't really do nothing, so I shouldn't take any opportunities. But like with QuantView, like it could be just a couple points to end the day, but it still will show that it went up or down, several hundred points, and you can take advantage of those. It just shows it. Like it, I guess the best way to describe, like, just to try it. Like, it's hard for me to articulate what I'm getting in success, like, properly, but it's clear.
Yeah.
It's clear with the still image. It's clear with the video. It's clear.
Yeah.
And it's clear in a way that I've never seen before. And I can say this, and you can mark it. I will never not use it. Period.
Awesome.
Like, period.
Yeah.
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 It's
Awesome.
incredible.
Well, that's going to be it for this interview. Make sure you guys like, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. And if you have any questions about ICE's trading, what I want people to do is I want people to comment them down in the comment section below on YouTube. And then maybe a month or so down the road, I'll compile all those questions and we'll do like a little follow-up interview with ICE. And instead of don't bombard him with DMs on Discord, because I'm
It's
sure he's
fine.
getting a ton of them. But
it's fine.
yeah, but that way we can answer all the questions in one video. And then,
Yeah.
if people have questions, we can link them to the Q&A. And I think that would be really helpful for traders in the future. So anyways, that's it. Peace.